All right, Devils, let's do a quick Bitcoin update. I'm not going to do too in-depth here just because Sam went ahead and gave you guys an update yesterday, so I'm going to let that simmer, but I just want to update my count because we have broken out external here. So what we've had the whole time is that we had the wave 3 of this degree ending at this point. Initially, because of the light retracement of this wave 4 and how quick it happened, we were kind of assuming that this was going to be a 335. Well, when this came down in 3, it became pretty apparent that even though this looked like a double zigzag, although at the time I had not microed it, got in there and really dug in, it really turns out it's a pretty decent diagonal. And one of you guys pointed that out in the comments, so good on you. So we had a 1, 2, 3, 1. 2, 1, 2, 3, 2. I'm sorry, 1, 2, 3, 3, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 5. So sorry about that. I didn't last week. I didn't get down and break it out. Just at looking at it at this degree, for instance, out here on the 4 hour, it looks like probably a 1, 2, 3. W X 1 2 3 Y. That's sort of what it looks like. But if you get down in the nitty gritty, it does break out pretty clean until a 1 2 3 4 5 motive wave, which means that our 5th wave ended right here at a very slight front run of this 50, which this is Bitfinex. This is one of the biggest exchanges in the world. You would expect a strong reaction, and we got it. But I say strong. It went down fast, but there was no follow through. So this 3 ended up ending a little lower than we would have expected, just based on projections for where this 3 ended, right? So what happens? Well, we have another sharp retracement here. This was sharp, and this was sharp. Two wave 4s that were sharp, but we did fuck about quite a bit. How'd that come about? Well, we had this diagonal, and then we'll get over here, but this is another diagonal. So even with these sharp retracements, we fucked about, and I hate to tell you guys, there's more fucking about in the future, but we'll get to that in a second. The reason that these sharps are okay is because we have this is messed up. We have these two sideways style of corrections. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, ABC, ABC, right? So sideways style, sharp, sharp, to be, pretty to be expected. But this is so hard to count. It was hard to say, is this where the one ends, the one end over here with the truncation, and then you get a clean 1 2 3 zigzag. I mean, this whole mess back here is still messing everything up. But this is much more clear at this point, even though diagonals are tough. But so that's what we got. We got our 2 sharp wave 4s, and then 2 diagonals after. This one ending variety, which we got what you expect out of that, even though we still got the light retracement. Remember, when we were shooting for initially this wave 4, and then this wave 4, what we wanted was, because my primary until recently was that we had a W and then working on an X, and then we'd get a Y down to here. Well, the high probability area on a wave 4, guys, it's not rocket science. It's between 382 and 50. People wonder, well, you're wrong. Well, you know what? I'm working in probabilities here. If you don't do Elliott and you use something else, what did yours say? Use that. But I'm working on probabilities that wave 4 is going to end at the 382 to the 50, and that the wave 4 of the larger degree will end at the terminus of the wave 4 of the lower degree. So I was looking for this right about here, just under the 382. We didn't get it. It's a bullish sign. This is very bullish, underlying bullish sentiment in this market. We got the very extended wave 3 instead of getting the long drawn out wave 4. We got a sharp 4, and we got the diagonal 5, which does show exhaustion, but it makes sense. You get down and you retrace to the high probability area of, at least you did follow the retracement after an ending diagonal, at least the length of the ending diagonal, which we did. So what next? Well, we've had this, which we thought was another time where I thought this was a B and we thought this was an X. Diagonals are very, they're motives that are built of correctives. So they're tricky. And we thought that this was another potential for a corrective in here. Well, it turns out it was a motive. So it looks like we have one of the standard, I've talked about it many times before, crypto leading diagonals, where you get the very shallow wave 2, because you would typically expect a deep retracement out of a leading diagonal. But in the crypto market, it's just, there's so many so much bullish sentiment at times that you get this shallow wave 2, little sharp wave 2, and then you go up for a extended wave 3, and you always expect an extension out of after a leading diagonal. But in crypto, the thing that's different is that you potentially sometimes get this little shallow wave 2 with it. So what happens out of there? So it looks like we're working on our wave 3 after this. Potentially we have gone external, so I would say that this is pretty confirmed that we're working on this wave 3. So before, I would have thought that this wave 5 might end more in the high probability area, but I always like to go on micros with this leading diagonal. It looks like we're going to extend. So just extension of this 1 to 2 is 1618 for the 3. Come down to the high probability area for wave 4 and with this geometric support. This is a larger degree pitchfork, and this is a 618 parallel. As you can see, it's played a major role in this market so far. So wave 4 will come down potentially to the high probability area and that geometric support, and then up here for the 5th to end us right in this golden pocket. Potentially, maybe we go a little lower, potentially we go higher, but just seems like a nice confluence area that this wave 3 will end. And then, of course, we go down and up for a 5. Does 5 end up coming up here and breaking this golden pocket? Maybe. We just got to play it wave by wave and see. Now, let's think about the alternative to my count, my primary, which is this teal count. I would say the alternative would be that this is a 1, 2, and then somehow 1 in here, 2, 3, 4, working on 5. So then at this micro 5 is where you would have your end of your ABC. And then again, at the end of all these counts I'm talking about, guys, what's going to happen? We're going to go down. So, when I see bullish underlying nature like this, does it give me less confidence in my count? I mean, a little bit, but I'm not emotional about this. A lot of you guys, if you think if you're hodlers, cool, be emotional. I mean, more power to you. But if you're a trader, you shouldn't have any emotion in this. What are you doing here? So right now, I would say that we have gone external to this. We've broken above this 50. So what are you doing? If I'm trying to trade this next wave, I'm looking for a retracement until I get up to here. And or this median line that is obviously important on the market. Look at the 618 parallel of this whole thing. So that's what I'm looking for. Is if I'm trading this, and I'm not trading huge, I'm not looking for long swings. That's just not what I'm doing in this market right now. I'd be looking for a retracement to long up to potentially the 618. And I'd probably be out before we got there, just because, as you see, we get front runs, and we got a front run on this one. So that's my count. And again, we're still, by my count, from here, whether it's here or whether it's here and we break that algo, I don't even care. It's when I will flip, and I'll do it with no qualms, no emotion about it, is when we make a significant break above this 6,000 to 6,500, depending on your exchange. When we break above it here like that, and then we come back, test it, and then go up, that's when I would become a major bull. But until that happens, I'm sticking to my guns that we will, at the very least, test these lows. Very least. These are some high levels of support down here. So whether we come down here and catch these, or whether we go make new lows and hit 1,200. That is still by far my primary, and I just gave you my conditions to flip. So this got a little bit more long-winded than I wanted it to in the first place, but there you go. All right, boys, toots on and out.